into the first stream. I don't know if you guys can hear me. I'm not exactly sure, so I need to just check. If you guys could let me know as well. Nope, I think I'm a little bit too low. So let me know if this has changed or helped in any way. Let me see. Hello, hello. So let me know if this has changed or helped. I guess I'll turn it up a little bit louder and kind of get started going from now on. Okay, thank you guys for stopping in. I think the sound is all right now. So, gonna kind of get into the breakdown and kind of what I'm looking for today. I appreciate you guys for coming and checking out the live stream. So, how I start my day is I pretty much look on the higher time frame. I have the weekly, the daily, and the 1 hour chart. Those help me and give me the framework of what I'll be looking for going forward. Now, last night, I would have liked to have seen us leave this high intact. Also, that goes along with this weekly contour encroachment of this wick. But overnight action, we had pretty much ran out there and screamed to that. So we'll kind of see what we're getting this morning. We did have a large opening, or large, I guess, so I have to be a little bit careful about that. We have to understand exactly what we're looking for and just be patient today. I think the better price action and the things that are going to happen will be later on in the week, Thursday and Friday, as we have actual news those days. So those are a little bit more of the days that I'm focusing on. But today there could present an opportunity for us to take something if the setup arises or if the situation comes. Now I wanted to kind of notice as well, and I'll go into, I don't know why the Wi-Fi now all of a sudden just doesn't work. Every other day this has been fine. But so we have SMT here. I kind of want to show you this. So you have this high and this high on ES. Notice how we're above here, but this we're not close to that yet. So I am noting that we have a little bit of SMT. This looks too clean as well. So potentially we could see price action want to jump up and go and hit this, which means that this would also follow a line and start targeting and trading up in here. As you see, we have this volume imbalance, so that would be a short-term target potentially for today that we could see if price in fact wants to trade a little bit higher. Now, something that I want to note as well is how I break down this chart and how I know the key levels that I'm looking for, and how I know where the support levels are. And so if I go to the 1 hour chart, so of course my so you go to the 1 hour chart, we don't really see anything over here to the left, so I had to go up to the 4 hour chart to kind of get a higher time frame level. So as we see here, we have this inverse fair value gap. If we can close above here, that's also significant for me to let us know that, okay, we close above here. This is the high also that we're looking for a potential target to go to. And if we want to stay in this upper portion here, we have this wick here. That's why I outlined this wick on the 4 hour chart. And if you look on the 5 minute chart, notice where like even the bounces and where price is responding from is off of the upper portion of this 4 hour inverse fair value gap, potentially, if we can close above it. Since we had this kind of large, we'll say overnight range, I will be looking to be a little bit more patient, and probably, if anything were to arise after 10 o'clock, if a situation comes up, that's potentially what I would be looking for. but we'll have to see kind of what we'll be getting moving forward. We just have to let the charts kind of show us what to look for and just be patient and wait for our setup. So we'll get this back to the hourly chart just so I can kind of show you. So in the upper portion, this 4-hour inverse fair value gap. We had respect here, came up here. So I would expect this, if it's bullish, to hold, which we do see here, and go higher. So those are the levels that I pretty much have on my charts. I'm not sure why this is acting very, very slow today. No problem all week, but we'll see kind of what we're getting here. So we're going to have a premium gap opening, which means that we have a 50% chance that it could come down to the middle of it. We just have to wait and see kind of what we're getting here. Obviously, we said we had SMT on a higher time frame, so these do look kind of clean. It could potentially want to come back down, so just have to be patient and wait for something to happen. If yeah, we just gotta be patient. So if you guys do have end up having any questions, just let me know. I am looking at the chat, but I'm not going to be solely focused on that. But I am looking and seeing that. If you guys do have any questions, like just let me know. Yep, it's just the internet for whatever reason just is slow today, and that's fine. Just want to make sure the sound check again. Yep, it's just the internet for whatever reason just is slow today. That's fine. Just want to make sure the sound check again. It also is a little bit delayed. I don't know what else to do, but it's about all I can do. I'm not sure how to fix it at this moment, but I will when I can figure out how to do that. A little bit delayed. I don't know what else to do, but it's about all I can do. Fix it at this moment. All right, cool. Sounds like everything is good, and looks like everything is good as well. So yeah, pretty much we wait until 9:30. So this is kind of like how I do my breakdowns in the morning, like what I'm looking for to happen. And yeah, I just am looking, again, if you've seen any of my videos, I'm looking for things to stack and overlap. I have created a video that I call stacking, or it's the concept of pretty much how I break down the market and what I'm looking for in each and every one of my trades. So let's say we're looking at a short now, right? Let's say this is actually what I was looking at. And so I go to the 5-minute time frame. We have about 59 seconds until the 5-minute candle closes. Would be a breaker block over here. So if I use this, I'm just going to use this for example. I'd want to see it stay in the lower portion. I'd want to see this remain a breakaway gap, even on the 5-minute chart. Then, you know, we have an order block here extended out in time. We have order blocks here as well, so that's what I'd be looking for if I was looking for lower prices, and then I'd be looking to take out these lows down there. Again, my strategy or my setup, it needs to give me at least 50 handles to a high or to a low or to a predetermined level, and then that's when I take the trade. If it does not offer any of those things, then I'm unwilling to take on the risk for that specific trade setup. So we know on the higher time frame we already have SMT on the highest time frame. So now if you look on the 15-minute chart, the way that this closed, we have a 15-minute order block there. This did not close below yet. So in order for me to fully trust this, I would need to see the same thing in ES. So I don't take my trades unless I'm seeing similar effects in ES, and I only trade NASDAQ. So we'll see kind of the price action that we get here and what we're looking for. Yeah, tomorrow's stream, I think I might have to get on new Wi-Fi. And then I think everything will be a lot better. For those of you who are watching, what's your how's your week been so far, but also how's your trading in 2025 been? Very curious to know that. Yeah, buddy. So again, we have this, potentially looking to see what offers here. We do have a 5-minute fair value gap here. Let's zoom in a little bit. We do have a 5-minute fair value gap there, which again would be a turtle soup. If you were to take this short, and then you could look for something down there. But again, I'm kind of being patient to kind of see what we're going to be getting. And I don't take trades before 9:30. I wait to see. Also, I kind of wait for the first presented fair value gap. That's something that I have kind of done. And I wait to see what time it's forming at. So a lot of my videos you hear about the time element of the first presented fair value gap. If it forms like after 9:40, I'm going to wait until 10 o'clock to take a trade. If it forms before 9:40, then I'm more likely to take a trade before if something were to set up or present itself. That's what I would be looking to do. So in terms of new week opening gaps and new day opening gaps, we are currently near the new week opening gap from December 8th. So that's helpful in terms of framing something. The nearest or closest new week opening gap or new day opening gap we have is to the upside actually, and it's December 27th. The regular trading hours and electronic trading hours low, which comes in at 21,984. And then we have the current new day opening gap, which was at 21,800. And so we're just kind of weighing the options to kind of see like what is it actually want to target. Again, I would be favoring a little bit more upside, but again, we have the higher time frame SMT. And then we had a large opening or a large range overnight in one direction. And so I believe that everyone and they want to buy. So that's how I'm kind of filtering out what exactly I want to do for each and every day. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's really lagging. It is what it is until I can figure it out. Yep. So we have about 9 minutes until the market opens. We're actually hitting the new week opening gap from December 18th. We hit the high of it right now. So we'll look to see kind of what we're getting there, and kind of we'll make adjustments based off of that. So I don't believe that there is an fair value gap there. There is not, so there's really nothing to note there, but we do have this order block, this down close candle right here. Closing below it, I believe, is kind of significant. And if we get the same thing on ES, that's also letting us know something similar. So also what I kind of like to do is the opening range gap. I like to, I guess, kind of see where consequent encroachment is. I alert it to let me know if that's where we come down to it, because I've had times in the past where I have forgotten to or didn't notice that it had hit the middle, and then had kind of extreme kind of would trade higher. So this is just a little reminder for myself. And I just kind of use it on regular trading hours. If you put it to electronic trading hours, notice how now it comes up. So it does kind of help with cutting out a lot of the noise to kind of just get to where the price is. And so that's just kind of like what I do with it and how I use it for my personal trading. So pretty much while I'm trading, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 other, I would say, up that kind of have the new week opening gap. I have the new day opening gap. I have this SMT chart here on another layout, just so I can kind of see and make sure we're seeing the same support or follow through in ES. I have this one. It's just on this chart, nothing else. They have the first presented fair value gap. I have a matrix chart that has the 5, the 4, the 3, the 2, and the 1. So I can see if all of them are kind of supporting and stacking one another. So that helps as well. So it's kind of what we're waiting for, to see specific elements in price. If we're in fact bullish, I'd actually want to see this candle here needs to support price and go higher. I wouldn't want to see it kind of get ran through. So just as an idea, if we're going to go higher, this needs to support price. So this bullish order block on the 15-minute chart needs to support it going higher and show elements that it wants to in fact trade up to this. We have a new day opening gap above us. We have that high I was talking about where we showed SMT there. So we need to start seeing some support. Seeing any support or any bullishness from here, I'm not as excited into that, but also would have to see the same thing in ES. So I'm not just gonna expect, even if this comes up here and does whatever and cleans this out, if ES is not showing the same support, there's no trade for me to take. I will elect to wait and wait for more confirmation with ES kind of showing something very similar. So about 3 minutes until the market opens. So we'll kind of wait and see. Also, you kind of see that you have this 5-minute bearish order block. Again, would want to see that get traded through. You have this inverse fair value gap. Would want to see that. And again, right now we are creating this 15-minute fair value gap to the downside. So again, we just have to be patient and assess kind of what we're looking for. And there's no need to rush into the market at any point. And again, so it's not just trading like any order block that you see here. So notice how this is on the 15-minute chart. You see this order block here, or on the 5-minute chart, you see this order block here. On the 15-minute chart, you don't really necessarily see anything. This is the level that I'd be looking for. If we're actually gonna go higher, this is what I'd be looking for price to expand from where it is. Technically, this is not a order block. That is and I'll explain why. It's a propulsion block on the 15-minute chart. So we have this candle here. This candle comes down, which is also immediate rebalance. It's on top of a 4-hour, we'll say, fair value gap. That's the high end of it. And we trade away and come back down. So if we in fact are going to go higher, we should use this and expand higher. That would be my expectation for that level. Also, this is inside of a new week opening gap from December 8th. So that's what I would expect to see if price is actually bullish. I want to see us kind of move away from that. So we do have the market opening fairly quickly. So, or not fairly quickly, but soon. So I kind of want to see what we're going to get here. You know, I would expect this to support price if we're actually bullish. Remember, we have this fair value gap there, which it could trade up into, which it hasn't done it yet, but it's kind of close. And so around 9:30, I kind of go to this so I can note out everything, because I don't technically take my trades straight at 9:30. So that allows me kind of to just see where we are, note this, and then I can kind of let it go. So we open up now, so we open up there. So we have a premium gap opening. So I pretty much just move it to where it needs to be. It's just 36, 36 even. Take this out. And then I just kind of go back to the charts I'm looking at. So here we trade up into this fair value gap. Notice on the there's no way, did it hit it already? That's weird. Okay, didn't think so. But notice how we have this fair value gap, and it kind of went along with the 15-minute fair value gap. If I was bearish, this again would be the stacking, where I would be looking to support us and resist price from going higher, and then I'd be looking for anything lower. That was in a 50 handle range. But this is pretty much what I'm looking for today. If we're going to see bullishness, it needs to show that. But as of right now, with this going higher, I'm not seeing the same support in ES. So let's look at this. See how this is going higher and ES is going lower. So this is what we would expect from this level. If we're bullish, we would need to see the same things happening in ES. That's what we need to see. So again, we're above these equal highs. And then, you know, kind of closure above 15-minute. So we're running a little bit higher. That's okay. So let's go to the daily chart. Again, we're looking at this level up here for potential target earlier on in the day, so we know that. So this could be a fairly large first presented fair value gap if it stays like this. Fairly large. So again, it's not, I don't just trade it because it's the first presented fair value gap or whatever. I need to see specific signatures and signals that allow me to take the trade. So again, we had this candle, which we were looking for, and started trading higher. So that's what I'm looking for. I just need to see the same support in ES, and then there potentially could be some type of framework there. Right, this is just going higher. We do have a breaker here, down here, so that this is the first presented fair value gap at 931. So it allows me to take a trade before 10 o'clock if something presents itself. But again, we need to see similar support in ES. I'm not just going to take the trade just because it started screaming up. But we found a level that we could see price reacting from. We explained kind of why we would be looking for that. We did hit the first presented fair value gap from Thursday, December 26, 2024. So I am thinking this is a little bit of a because again, I'm not seeing the same support in ES. ES did not run above here. Also, these two are going down. So it is kind of like what you would call a mixed open. So this to me does not seem like a buy right now. So if it were to come down in here, it kind of doesn't really do anything for me. There's nothing that would get me in this trade right now, unless we see some support from ES. Then that's when I would kind of see a potential opportunity. So we're trading. Not yet, we didn't really get there. But what I like to do is actually do this, and then I like to, and this would be like you see me a lot of my videos that do key signature. I kind of just like to see if, why it's not doing it, because it's lagging. But so this is a 1 minute first presented fair value gap. Again, if I am bullish and I want to see price go higher, I want to see it stay in this upper portion. This again could be a valid trade setup. For me, it's not, because I'm not seeing the same follow through in ES yet. ES is looking like potentially wants to go a little bit lower, so there's nothing there for me to do yet. We do have a candle closure on the 5 minute chart soon, so that helps a little bit with potential what we could be seeing here. Is there a fair value gap here with this breaker? And then if so, what do we see? This should not be on this chart as well. So that's what we're looking for. We need to see the same response in ES, and then there's a potential for something. But if we do not see the same support in ES, then it's pretty much nullified. So we see that massive wick there. this looks pretty crazy in terms of if you were trying to chase this and buy this up here. I mean, you're getting pretty deep retracement right now. Doesn't mean that this can't create a buying setup down here. This is just not my trade. I have to wait for a little bit more information. Before I can do anything. So again, we kind of traded down into these down close candles. This one would be the breaker. Remember, the breaker for the upside on the 5-minute chart. This is what I look at and looking for. If we had a little bit more confidence, if I had a little bit more confidence that ES would in fact trade higher, this is the buy. But I'm not seeing the same thing in ES, so that makes me not want to take this trade. I would need to see the same support, and then I'd be willing to take the trade. Again, a little bit of a mixed open. Dow trading lower, ES looks like it's trading lower or wants to, and then NQ trading higher. Just tell me to wait. Tell me to wait. Again, we're seeing a lot of wicks, but the first presented fair value gap formed at 9:31, which is early. It's just kind of like more or less of what I want to see, but just I'm not seeing the same support in ES, so I pretty much have to just sit on my hands and wait until something's a little bit more clear and shows a willingness to kind of get in sync. Oh, hi Rima. How are you? I'm not sure when you send it, but how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for stopping by. But how's the volume? I don't know. I'm assuming it's well. I know my Wi-Fi is, I'm not really sure, but kind of acting up a little bit today. It's fine. It's the first one. You know how it is. Hopefully it get better. Get better. Yeah, so if this is in fact bullish, we have this wick. We would want to see this candle here, support price, going higher. That's what we'd want to see. If it's in fact bullish, you hit the wick in the open. We want to start seeing an attack up here. Again, ultimately attacking this level, which it came close to, fell a little bit short of the imbalance. Again, I'm just not seeing the same support in S&P, so I'm unwilling to take this trade, this breaker setup. I'm not unwilling to take it. Okay, good. I'm good. I'm glad you're doing well, and I'm glad that the volume is good, and it's fine. Okay, cool. Hopefully everything is working. On my end, it looks very slow and laggy, so I'm not sure why. But yeah, just patiently waiting. There's nothing to do here yet. I don't necessarily like this breaker to the upside because the fair value gap is way down here. So if it does respond from here, again, I'd be looking for my setup to form in the upper portion. So what I mean by that is if this is a good breaker and a good setup here, and let's say it trades down here, anywhere above here from this, I just want to make sure it's very clear. anything above this section and up would be where I'd be looking to buy, if this is a buy setup. But right now it's not looking like that because of, again, what we're getting in S&P. So this, to me, it looks like a Judas swing. And so we're getting this price action here. Now, especially if we can close below here, then I'd be looking again for maybe potentially a little bit price action. Now, I do want to go on the 4-hour chart here just to kind of see what's happening. And it's a little bit slaggy. Maybe I can do slaggy. It's like slow and laggy, because my thing is pausing. So right now we did close below it, but currently we are above it. So I guess that's pretty good. Again, we're looking for this candle specifically to support prices, which is what we got. But yeah, this is not as clean as you would like it. The bodies are being held up here, which is good. I like that the body's being held in the upper portion. But yeah, we're not seeing any follow through with ES. Are you guys learning anything today? Yep, so we'll kind of see what we're getting here. Again, I'd like that support. It's not as clean as I would like. Yeah, not as clean as I would like, but yeah, we just need to see some support and some in ES, and then I'd be more likely to take this trade. Be clear, very obvious. I'm not looking for a price to just be, I'm not just trying to get in just to get in. I want it to be very clear, very obvious, and showing me that it wants to go somewhere. So right now we have buy side up here, which we can label. This would be buy side liquidity. So again, 50-minute chart here. So this looks pretty nice. So now we have 50-minute fair value gap. Want to see if we can get the same response a little bit above. But we have Dow trading lower, ES kind of holding, and then NASDAQ trading higher. Again, that to me is just very, it's just it's telling me that I should be waiting. Tell me I should wait. It'll always give us, it'll let us know that when the setup is prime or right for trading higher or trading lower. So again, no rush to get in, about it trading higher and hitting levels that I would expect for it to trade to. Just patiently waiting. Because I've been in the market when I'm trying to rush to get in and trying to do something, and then it just never works out for me. And I'm sure it doesn't work out for most people when you're trying to rush to get in to do something. Yeah, I kind of have to figure out what's going on with this. It keeps saying like my drop in frames, and yeah, everything was good every other day, I guess, but today, just something about it. It's all good. It is all good. So again, you see, we haven't really done anything. Like, we screamed up. We had this level here that we, called beforehand. I see that price would move from here if we're in fact bullish. But again, we haven't really seen anything since then, right? We've just kind of seen chop and go up and down. ES is holding. Dow's trading lower. Nothing is kind of supporting each other. So it's just waiting. Just waiting to see what we're getting. Like, are we going to see follow through, or are we going to see this just ultimately fail? That's essentially what we're looking for. We came close to the new day opening gap low from December 27th. We fell just below that. We came close to it, but fell kind of just below that. And right now we're inside of the Thursday, December 26th, first presented fair value gap. We've hit that here, and the bodies have currently been respecting that. And we're not seeing any follow through on ES. So that's kind of how I weigh out what I'm looking for, what to wait for. And also, if we look at this chart, notice how this is the opening gap from Tuesday to today to Wednesday, and we just pretty much ran straight up, and then we've just been consolidating kind of right here, and also around the low of December 26th. So until we see some type of support, some type of bullish action, I'm just going to sit on my hands with that, even though I believe it can still go up here and the targets that I had talked about from beforehand. But I need to see some more. I don't want to guess. I'd rather just kind of see it all work together, and then I'll take the trade. If it does not do that, then it just doesn't do it. But that's what if you're liking this stream, definitely appreciate it if you can like, and if you could like the stream. I think it helps with the algorithm. I think that's what they say, so I'm just gonna kind of say it too. But yeah, if you like this, and if you have any questions, again, you can always reach out and let me know. So this is interesting here. So I kind of like what we're getting right now. Again, there's nothing yet, but I do like this currently. It is looking like it kind of wants to trade up a little bit higher. That would give me I don't like this. Hold on, let me just do this. There we go. So we know that buy side liquidity was there. Just kind of change it because it's been hit already. So let us know it's kind of already been hit. So again, what would be interesting is if we could create a fair value gap here with this wick, and then this becomes a breakaway gap, and then we could potentially see us start to trade a little bit higher. But we need to see support in ES for us to kind of believe that. Because now we have SMT here between do we? Hold up. Let's look before I say that. No, I mean, still, no, yes we do, because we have this high and this high, and this high is way above that. So we do have SMT currently above this high and this high. So we'll see what we can get there. Again, the target we're looking for was here. We're inside of that. We have this daily order block, and we have this high currently right there. So we'll kind of see what we'll be getting. So the macro has started. It starts at 9:50 and it goes all the way to 10:10, which is pretty much at, let's do this, the end of here. That's where it starts. I mean, it starts here, 950 on this candle, and extends all the way over to 1010. So we'll be looking to see kind of what we get there. Patience, patience, patience. That's what we're waiting for. As my mentor would always say, we just need to hurry up and wait. So I'm just hurry up and waiting. Really nothing else to do right now. Screaming higher. We allow it to do what it's going to do anyways. Yep, so right now we're just, trading higher. So ES looks like it wants to give us some type of confirmation that potentially wants to trade a little bit higher. So we'll see if we can get that same follow through and ultimately see if we can attack this high right there. So just need to see how we're having now. We're starting to get the same thing. I'm okay with waiting. I don't need to get the exact low or see that. So this is letting us know that's pretty good. So again, we just wait. I wouldn't trade ES. You can look at this. Wouldn't trade it. Even though like this to me would be valid. We have an order block here. This is, kind of overlapping. But I only trade NASDAQ. Whenever this wants to load. Okay, there we go. So again, now we have this. We have a breakaway gap here, it looks like. We might scream higher. We may not get an entry today, but we were able to see. So this to me would have been a valid entry if we had more support. This would have been the entry there because we've been hitting a 5-minute breaker there. So I would have felt a lot more comfortable taking that trade, and then would have had to go. Well, we would have been done. 50 points would have been there. But again, needed to see more out of ES before I was willing to take the trade. That's just how I personally trade. Again, if we look at, let's look at this wick. Hit the consequent encroachment of the wick on the 5-minute chart. Again, this order block is above the Asian block, where also is the entry in the upper portion of this wick. So that's a good entry. That'd be something I'd be looking for. If we had more follow through with ES, then that would make sense right there. In this gap, stop loss below here, and then targeting 50 handles. So Again, we're just screaming a little bit higher. I don't know if we're going to get a to occur in this AM session. So it may have to be something that do later, but pretty much the way that it's trading is kind of just trading up, not really offering any pullbacks at all. This is the only, I mean, they offered this, which we were supporting the upper portion, which is nice. And then we had this, which I would have been more comfortable if it was kind of moving in the same direction. Then this will be easier for me to take a trade. So there is pretty much the only pullback, and then there's really nothing else, kind of just screaming up a little bit higher. Just one direction, one-sided. Not not something I just want to jump into. So we've closed above. We reacted off this new week opening gap from December 8th, and now we're trading up to potentially the new week. We have a fair value gap that overlaps the December 27th. So, which is, it starts pretty much right here. It's this gap, this fair value gap. So I want to see this one kind of remain a breakaway gap, and then this one I want to see a little bit of support from, but we've ran straight up. I personally felt like if I would have taken this one, this would have been guessing and hoping that we were seeing follow through, or hoping that we were seeing something in S&P, and those are not the trades that I am willing to take. Let's go back to the daily chart, or a higher time frame. So again, we have this rejection block on the weekly chart. Let's kind of move this over a little bit. Rejection block on the weekly chart. We've currently closed above this, traded above it. Now look on the hourly chart. So now I'd be looking for this daily. I want to put the middle on there. Now I'd be looking for this daily portion to hold price, which overlaps with the 5-minute fair value gap as well. And if we can get something there, then I'd be targeting, that's not long, that's not large enough for me. It's a little bit lower than I would want, but I think we'll see something, a decent setup here. I just have to see if it'll actually offer 15. We'll see. If it already hits up here and keeps going, then there will be pretty much nothing for me to do here. I'll probably just end stream and trade tomorrow. Just basically kind of from what it's offering, for me to the upside. Where everything is currently, it's not enough for me, so I'd have to retrace a little bit. Because after that, it's like there's nothing up there. So right now, my main focus is on this gap right here. This fair value gap here has my focus on the 5-minute chart. And then if you go down to the 1-minute chart, where else is my focus? Right there. So if we can come down here and then scream away, and this ends up being a breaker, then we have something to do. That to me is, oh wow, that was quick. 10:02. Pretty much shot down there immediately. So this could be immediate rebalance on the 15 minute, if it on ES, if that's exactly what it wants to do, kind of trade down to the 15-minute order block. Is here would be, sorry, this here, the bodies. Again, we're looking at the bodies. I don't care about the wicks. The wicks do the damage. I want to see, again, this remain a breakaway gap. Everything be held here in the upper portion. And then what I'd want to see us is move away. If we create a fair value gap above here, that to me is more meaningful. Then I'm willing to put on the risk if we can do that. Potentially. Because I'll have to weigh out if I believe it actually can go above this new day opening gap through it, or if it's going to hold it. Because if I don't believe it's going to trade above it and to it and through it, then we have a problem. So, which I believe we can trade to it and through it, but I have to just kind of weigh everything out right now and see. But again, yep, I want to see this bodies kind of be held in up in this portion, and then I want to see us scream higher if in fact this is bullish. And if I'm looking for a buy, that's what I'd be looking for. That's the signature that I would want to see. I kind of want to see it start moving away. Again, immediate rebalance on the 15-minute chart. This would be immediate rebalance. M15. That's what it would be. So again, look where the bodies, as of right now, are being held here. We're seeing a nice immediate rebalance as well in ES. So I want us to see us start expanding away. Expand away, create a fair value gap. That's what I would be looking for. And to see if we can kind of push up higher towards this first presented fair value, towards this new day opening gap and new week opening gap. That's what I'm looking for. But if that is not to occur, then there's really nothing there for me. So we do have this fair value gap here. I want to see us run through that. I don't want to see us hold that. Because holding that, I believe, potentially will probably trade a little bit lower. Maybe we could potentially trade down into here, which could then offer a little bit more potential for the upside if it shows the willingness to move and do those things. But again, to show more bullishness and price action and speed and potentially where it wants to go, I'd want to see it kind of, not hang around in this gap too much and create that fair above this high. That's kind of what I would want to see. That's what I'm looking for. Do we get that? Do we get the same follow through? Or are we going to show weakness here? Okay, so that's nice. Right now, we just need to see a little bit more addition to it, more speed, kind of follow through, kind of explosive price action that lets us know that we are, in fact, looking at it the right way, looking at the have the right direction. That lets us know a lot if we can start, creating some fair value gaps and not overlapping every range. Because if it starts overlapping every single range, well, one, there's no trade for me, which I would like to if it can, present itself. I like to see that, but again, that's just my personal preference. But again, I would like to see us, create a fair value gap, expand higher. I'd like to see a fair value gap kind of be created in this upper portion, not too low. But yeah, that's just what I'm waiting for. I don't want to see like a small fair value gap either. I kind of want to see it be very obvious. But yeah, right now it's looking promising. I would like for it to look a little bit different than what it currently looks like right now. But this is the current price action that we're getting. So this is how we have to operate. This is how it's presenting itself. So we have to understand what we're looking for and understand the parameters. So I'd like for us to create a fair value gap, but I don't want us to just start screaming and running away. Yeah, so it looks like it just looks like it just wants to overlap everything. So really nothing here right now. It could end up forming a little bit later if in fact we do want to go higher. I mean, there's a lot of wicks above there, so that's kind of why I would like to see it. We have about 5 minutes until the next 15-minute candle. I think that'll kind of show us a lot of things as well. So if we trade a little bit down and then kind of create a fair value gap up there, that's also helpful. I'm just waiting for a fair value gap above, pretty much at the high, and want to see fair follow through with ES. So if we can do that. And again, I'm just watching the body, so I'm waiting for it to show me that this is, yeah, we're gonna go higher, yeah, this is what I want to do, and so I'm just waiting for that. If I don't get what I'm looking for and it just kind of goes up and keeps overlapping above, or keeps overlapping it and then ultimately reset, then there's nothing I can do about it. That's just what it would be for this day. That's what it offered. So again, I want to see this hold, not too many wicks, not too many crazy things, and if it doesn't just run straight away from here, if it creates a fair value gap, then I get into the trade, and then it's the same situation, same scenario as every other time. So again, I mean, I don't like the size of that fair value gap, if I'll be completely honest. It's a very, very small, if it's even going to stay. I would have liked it better if it would have actually created a fair value gap and then closed above the high and not doing all this. It just, to me, looks like it's just going to be slow grind up there. So we may not get our may not get our trade. It may kind of just, you know, slow grind and trade up there without us, which again is fine. You know, this is a part of trading. This is things that are also in trading. So we'll see kind of what we get here in this next couple of minutes. Because also what I am kind of looking at as well, I would like almost ignore this wick and, well, if it can do it, but I don't think it will. Again, very small gap here with, I mean, not a lot of range. There's 25. I mean, you have to go, for me, it'd have to go all the way up here, and that to me doesn't look too exciting. You know, there's nothing for me that's really overlapping that I would feel really confident in getting in. I mean, why I was saying it like this, because this technically is, I would see this as a gap there, but yeah, I feel like the way that it looks and what I'd be trying to do is kind of like forcing myself to find a way to get in. So again, this is what I was saying. It could potentially be an entry, but again, I don't like it. I don't like that. I don't like the way any of this is framing up. Any way that this looks. The 5-minute chart would have been nice if we could have actually created a fair value gap and then have come down. I would have taken it, but no way. Again, you'll kind of know, like when you're looking at trades, and like when you see and know your trade, you know what it looks like, you know what you're kind of looking for. This is not what I'm looking for. Even if it goes higher and does everything that I was explaining and thought that it could do, it's just not it doesn't look very good visually. Like, it just looks like it's just slow grinding. The only explosive price action we had was really here at this first presented fair value gap, which again, in my eyes, the trade that would have made sense to me would have been here if S&P would have kind of had the same follow through at the time, which it didn't. So that's why I opted not to take it. And yeah, that's my that's how I'm reading this. And like this trading back down to here, which doesn't necessarily hit inside of here, it's a fair value gap, but yeah, just not it for me. Not it for me. Yeah, I believe that the new week opening gap low from December 15 is a target, but it's just slow grind up. Slow grind up. There'll be better opportunities, better. Let's see if S&P did what we were looking at actually as well. If my thing doesn't always load every time I switch. Yeah, so remember we were talking about this candle, this breaker from there, and buying it. That makes more sense here. We're seeing that at what, 10 o'clock? So I mean, oops, I went to the wrong one. Technically at what, 10:02 or 10 o'clock? This drop would have made sense to buy it, but this is not my setup, so it's nothing there. And even let's say I did buy it, I don't think it went up. Oh, it did. It offered 50. So 50, I'd be done. Like it's usually like 52. That's where it'd be. But again, I'd be like really pushing it, to be honest. Really pushing it. So to me, this is just visually looking at it, I would say it's a little bit more high resistance because it's a little bit choppy in terms of action, kind of clean side. It's just kind of slow grinding, which is not representative of a low resistant market, low resistant condition. So yeah, that's kind of how I'm visualizing this and seeing this. Just being a little bit slower. Let's see what we get here. Nothing really to do. Just kind of sitting waiting for something to occur. Yeah, my internet is just not as the greatest right now. So if it is bullish, you're gonna go higher. This candle here needs to hold. Needs to hold. On a closing basis, it needs to hold. Yeah, because at this point, I mean, it's what, 20 handles? Like, yeah, that's just not a... I would have to let, even if this makes a fair value gap, I think I'd have to let this one go. Just based off like kind of what's there and what's above us. It's just, it's not far enough away for me to take this trade. Cause like what that's the low end of it. This is where price is right now. I need like double that. So nothing really there. Now if we start to see some weakness, we have a lot of range down here. The opening price is down here as well. So all we've done is trade a little bit down and then pretty much straight up. Again, there'd be better days to trade. Better days to trade, cleaner setups. These are just not the days I'm necessarily always interested in, but this is a day. This is what happens in the market. Not every single day is a low resistance, clean levels. But I'm just happy that I was able to, you know, be patient, know what I'm looking for, have levels and see the levels be respected. But yeah, really nothing for me to do today. Like the only trade setup would have been this one. Go to like a 30-second chart. Maybe we'll see something. Not really. I mean, this is a breaker here. No fair value gap, but on the 1-minute chart there is. Right there. So yeah, nothing for me too exciting for today. Just kind of a little slow. But tomorrow again, we should see a little bit more. We have news tomorrow and on Friday. So I'm interested in seeing what we get there on those days. Is what I'm more interested in today again. As I do my weekly expectations or weekly game plan, today was kind of like a low expectation day, and we kind of did get that. There were setups that occurred, just not really for me, and that's okay. So I believe tomorrow and Friday will be great days to trade. Pretty much I'll go through the same breakdown, the same setup, and just go from there. Why does my thing do this? Yeah, so I'll probably I can wait until yeah, I might go to 11:30. We may see like a little bit of a downside movement if we're not getting pretty much a lot of follow through here. But yeah, I'll wait till like 11. See if there's anything there. If there's nothing, then kind of just chalk it up and call it. Definitely had fun today. There were some hiccups in the stream and it lagging, I think, a little bit, but overall, I definitely enjoyed doing the stream as the first one. Definitely get better as a person and just better also as a streamer. I definitely appreciate everyone that has come and watched the stream. Definitely means a lot. Again, we're looking for specific signatures in price. If we see the signature, then we'll be ready to do something. But until then, really nothing to do. So what I do see here as well. So I looked at this candle here. That's what I'm looking at here. And see that can it resist price going lower? Does it show a willingness for price to move away? That's what I'm looking at. Do we get that? Because that would be letting me know kind of like the tides have switched a little bit. If we're supporting that. Also, if we can close below this 5-minute fair value gap and then become an inverse, and then we can get a fair value gap. If we do that, then that's when I'll be looking for lower prices. But until then, there's pretty much nothing to do. It did hit the top end of the new day opening gap from December 27th, but would have to see some more for us to actually start seeing this as a viable option. But yeah, certain things have to take place. Again, the 5-minute order block technically has held with the bodies. But yes, we need to see a little bit more. Even if it, like, you know, expands above and keeps going a little bit higher, there's really nothing there for me. I will be right back, guys. Right, I'm back. I'm back. Like I never left. So, again, you see how we're kind of like stuck in between this 5-minute order block and this 5-minute fair value gap. So, again, and the reasoning for this potentially is, you know, going into the lunch macro, which would then start to occur at around 11:30. It goes from 11:30 to 1 o'clock. If in fact we kind of traded higher and it looks like we've kind of lost some steam, if this were to occur and were to kind of set up this way, that's why I'd be potentially looking for lower prices if it's gonna if these things were to occur. I'm not just trying to short the top either. It needs to kind of show things. Again, I believe that we do have the new day opening gap and stuff above us, but again, it's just an idea. Again, the whole day just didn't give us an opportunity to do that. So, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm not gonna lie though, but these lows here looks very suspect. Right. Very, very suspect. Very, very smooth. Very trend line-ish. So that's something that I saw. Dow was going lower. So yeah, just today for me was again low expectation. Not really looking to do too much. If it was to present itself, would take it, but nothing nothing too impactful, I think, even today. I mean, this is a nice trade. This here for me, I feel like this would have been the best trade of the morning. Even buying down here, just in terms of how low drawdown, how quickly it moved. So that's what it is for me. Again, we're having more decoupling. So yeah, not as interested in this right now currently. But yeah, we'll stay till around 11. I won't do 11:30 because then if I do 11:30, pretty much might as well do it till 12, right? And then do it till 1:30 because that's, yeah, not doing that. I'll just be back here tomorrow if nothing happens at around 11. Kind of turn it off and wait for a better setup to happen the next couple days. So again, we're seeing that we saw support from this, again, what I would want to see, right? If, you know, potentially going higher. Look how we just have too many wicks for me. Like if it hit this, we created like no fair value gap, and then we come back down again, and then we don't create any other fair value gap either. This, as you see, we're kind of closed through this up close candle, so this is not we haven't done it yet, but in about a minute and 20 seconds we'll probably close above, and this would be a bullish order block. But notice how, like, on the 1 minute chart, we have not created any fair value gap that supports these two down close candles going higher. It doesn't do it. Also, if we look here, again, we're having some struggling issues here with ES, but this potentially looks like it wants to trade higher. So again, I'm just weighing all of that stuff because I think it's important to in your trades, and not just take things just to take them. We are patient. We are patient. We wait for things we want to see. Again, not trigger happy to press a button. There's certain things and certain aspects that I need to see in price, and we're not seeing them. So it's telling me that I need to just relax. Better times are coming. Yeah, I was watching this trader and he talked about how, imagine as a trader you're trying to play Pictionary, but you only get one guess, and the person is drawing, and you guess before they even draw the picture, and obviously you lose because you only get one guess. And then they finish. That was a house that you were drawing, and you had guessed boat or something. And so it just like, yeah, it just like shows how, like, if you're guessing too early or doing that, you can miss out on the opportunity. And I think that's with trading, right? Many times we try to guess before it actually happens because we think that it's more, you get more credit or whatever to be in before everyone, or trade it because you think no one else can trade it, like whatever your reasoning is. For me, I was tired of trying to predict before it's even there. Like, I want to see it in a certain area. I have a prediction of like where I would think it's going to bounce from or whatever, but I don't want to predict my entry. Like, I'd rather entry come to me and I'm not chasing it. So when it comes to me, I know what I'm looking for, I know what I'm waiting for. I'm not scared. Like, I'm just chilling. Because I've seen it so many times and back testing and stuff. So again, that whole thing kind of changed my mindset and understanding of trading when he was like, yeah, why don't you just let it kind of come to you instead of you trying to force it to be there when it's just not there. And that was something that really, really, really helped me. Sorry, just fixing my charts up on the other one. So again, here, I haven't really closed above it now. Maybe we'll get it now. But we're so close to, like, so close to, just gonna delete that. This new day opening gap low from December 26th, and so close to the new week opening gap low from December 15th that, like, for me, this isn't, even if it like does everything, creates a fair value gap, we're too close. So for me, that there's nothing there for me yet. So it can create a nice fair value gap. It can do everything I was expecting it to do from lower, and then yeah, still wouldn't take the trade. Like, this is nice. If it can even hold it, it's nice. It may not even be able to hold it. So 30 seconds, if it can hold it, I could treat this. This is not a trade setup for me, but I would treat this as the breaker. If it wants to. So again, look, now this is a little bit more questionable for me because of where it is occurring. But would have liked it a little bit better if it had not done that. Kind of left it above and kind of had done that. I don't like how it does that. Interval below. So for me, that's kind of what I'd be looking at, and potentially that would be a breakaway gap because it's in the lower portion, so I wouldn't even want to see it get traded to. So you go down to like a smaller time frame, potentially you would see a fair value gap there. Let's see if we go to like a 30. So yeah, you have a 30-second fair value gap here. So I would want to see this remain open and not get traded down to if it was in fact like as bullish, and then I would want to see it kind of trade up into here. That would be like the idea. But we looked on the 1 minute chart, traded down into it. Let's go back to that. So 1 minute chart traded there, back into the fair value gap with this breaker block here, and then we'd be looking for it to potentially trade up into this, like pretty much right there. Like that's where the new day opening gap is. It's like right here. Again, that's not that far away for me. For me to risk this to go all the way up to here, 14 handles, that's not for me a good enough trade. But this is the only one that I've seen that looks decent enough where I'd be like, oh yeah, this makes sense for me. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with taking this. What we've done is we've closed above this, like this 5 minute order block. We've closed above that. It's the wrong one. So again, this is the only thing that makes sense to me. But we're too close to the level. I don't trust it the way that the way that it looks like. But this is the only thing that looks close to me. That looks anything like, let's say, any of my other setups. But I don't trust this one. That's the only thing that looks close. To where like things are actually overlapping. That's the only one that I see. We have a 5 minute order block. I would have liked for it to stay open. It's in the lower portion as well, the fair value gap. That's why I said that I don't like it as much. If it had formed in the upper portion and kind of had it there, then it makes a little bit more sense to me. But because of where the fair value gap formed inside of this candle, I don't like it as much. But also, again, the order block starts here on a higher time frame chart, the 5 minute chart. This fair value gap is also in the upper portion of this 1 minute fair value gap is in above, but also in the upper portion of this 5 minute order block, these down close candles. So, you know, that would be the only way and only reason why I've like what I'd be looking for. But I mean, this ain't it. I can just tell by the way the day is going that this one isn't it, and it's too close. But to me, this would be a little bit high resistant liquidity run signature. But this is potential. It's just like slowly grinding up. Kind of, we could see that from earlier on. But that's the only actual play that I would see now. But 14 handles, the risk 14 handles, and to gain that is just, yeah, that's not a setup for me. Not a setup. Again, Dow is trading lower. Just a lot of it's mixed still. And it's what, 11:15? Oh no, sorry, 10:43, and it's still mixed. So, yeah, just more of waiting. We are seeing kind of like similar things in ES. So that's why this one for me stood out a lot more visually, like kind of what I was looking at or looking for visually. So, but it's 14 handles is not enough. It had like 50. That's what I'm looking for. Because it didn't offer that, there's nothing I can really do about that. Again, it's like what, 22,046 and a quarter. 2046 and a quarter. This is the low end of the of the new day opening gap from December 26th. Like, no shot am I taking that trade. It's not enough. And also kind of how we've been trading, slow grind, slow grind, slow grind. I'm not interested in the slow grind trade. Again, it's nice because look at the fair value gap and close inside. We hit the top of a 5-minute order block, traded down into that. So I would still expect it to trade up to was it 46.25? I would still expect it to trade up there, but it doesn't have to. Literally doesn't have to do that. And see, we'd be how close? It's the high. Yeah, 3.5 handles. Yeah, not worth it to me. It'll be better days tomorrow, Friday. Even if we don't get anything this week, then we don't get anything this week. I'm okay with that. It'll be way better day than this over the long run. Way better days. More easier days to recognize, easier days to see, to have more range. Head back into the order block. On the 5-minute chart. And if I was actually taking this trade, like, my stop loss would actually be below this low. It'd be like a point below here if I was taking this trade. So because it can trade to the middle, I wouldn't expect it from what we're like literally seeing. So it's right above it. Maybe it'd be actually right there, right, like a tick below this, because I wouldn't want to see it come down to the middle. So yeah, but I'm not in this trade. But look at the bodies respecting this 5-minute order block. I would expect us to trade up to here. But again, this is not worth my time. It's not worth my time. It's not the expectations that I'd be willing to see. I wouldn't put the risk on. It's not worth the risk, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. It's not worth the risk, how elevated we are, how we're having decoupling now with Dow trading lower. Yeah, so I still expect it to hit up there because I believe that new day opening gaps and new week opening gaps are like a magnet, as ICT would say. Again, the new week opening gap, even if we have the new week opening gap, I'll kind of like label them the colors how I have them. That's the new day opening gap. New week opening gap is at 247. 248. Is it 248? 75. So this is the top one would be the new week opening. Oops, the new week opening gap color, but it's an old one, so I guess it's red since it's older. So that would be technically the two levels, right? And so me trading from here to here, it don't make no sense to me. That's not worth risking like at all. I don't care if it was like $10,000. That's, for me, that's not worth the risk to take, especially after even all the things that we've done today. From here, didn't trade the consequent encroachment at all as of right now, and how we just traded up higher. I think I told you that this is the better option. This was the better trade if we had seen support, but since we did not, and then now we're all the way up here at a time where this could potentially be making the high of the day. Not interested in that. But this is the only setup that I saw today. This right here, only thing I saw. Or if it had more available space and we weren't decoupled, and I would take it. Oh, Zach, hey, how you doing, man? Where do I think NQ wants to go? Now, there's a couple. So I can go back to the higher time frame chart and kind of show a little bit about this. I think NQ wants to, but I believe it's going to take out this high. I'm thinking like the next couple of days. That's what we could be looking for. Also, why I believe that is we do have SMT on the daily chart. Like, let's look at the daily chart real quick on all of them. Notice how this is above this high, and we also have news tomorrow and Friday. So I'm believing NQ wants to take out this high. Hopefully it doesn't do it before tomorrow, and ultimately I think we can get up here. Notice how really clean this looks. So if we're believing and thinking that ES can go higher and end up taking out this high, I believe that NQ should follow in suit and trade there as well. That's where I would be looking for in terms of this week. But the first target would be here. Also, we have this volume imbalance there, so I'm thinking here, the high from Thursday, December 26, 2024. That's where I think it wants to go. Now, since we don't technically have any news today, I'm hoping that we kind of give a little bit of a retracement, a little bit, and then attack this one, because I believe ES wants to go up there, so that's where I'd be looking for. First this high, then this one. I believe that's where it would be more likely or more willing to go, is there and here. So I'm believing this is showing strength, and so we should see some follow through here. That's what I would want to see. That's what I'm looking for. So again, this is why I was not. I hope that helps, Zach. Appreciate you for stopping by. This is why I did not take this one. As I kind of explained, down here was a better one, but where we are, how late it is in the session, what we've been looking for, how close, there's just a lot of things. And if again, 14 handles, again, is not enough for me. So this would have been a loss if I would have taken this trade. But it didn't make sense for all the things, the reasons why I explained it. It did not make sense. At a time where we could potentially be making a high, there's just a lot there. So, yeah, Zach, if that helped, just let me know. If I can explain it a little bit better, I can also do that as well. So this would be interesting if we get some, I'm going to take this kind of off. Already explained that a little bit. But yeah, this would be kind of interesting when it comes to potentially looking at some weakness. Again, I don't want to see it, like I don't want to see us trade up here today. We have news today. I would honestly like to see if we can either support this level here on the daily, this volume imbalance here, and then trade higher. That's honestly what we were looking for a little bit earlier today in the morning session. And we wanted to see this specific fair value gap hold price, which it did, but see how we're failing and unable to go a little bit higher. So that's kind of what we have today. I want to see us go a little bit higher, but we don't have news. We don't have a lot of things supporting us right now. So I'm going to elect to see that happen tomorrow. That's what I would want to see. So yeah, I'm gonna get off at 11. I mean, everything in my mind is telling me kind of stay on to watch this and potentially think that we can trade a little bit lower, but that's okay. I'll wait for better setups tomorrow and Friday to see if they offer something. Today was a good tape reading session of being able to kind of read and see what's going on inside the market. Again, this, if we can trade above or below this candle again, would be a bearish order block, and then getting below this would be the next thing. Got to see what's happening here, because this is also a daily level there, as well as a new day opening gap level. So this would be more of my concern. I want to see us, if we were to go lower for today, not lower overall direction, getting below this, using this wick 50% and then staying below this, and then maybe we can tag some stuff down here. That's kind of what I'm looking at and looking for. Yeah, it's about 4 minutes or so. We have I'm gonna be hopping off, and I'll be on tomorrow. Yep, really kind of really nothing to do. I think the high has already kind of been made for the day, potentially, but yeah, we'll see. Maybe we'll get some type of pullback and some type of action going a little bit lower. Maybe that remains a breakaway gap. I'm gonna close below this. Use this as this candle here. Use the wick, stays a gap in the lower portion. then we can see some weakness, potentially us trading a little bit lower. But I will not be here for that. We also have a first presented fair value gap as well there. So yeah, just today nothing of high probability in my opinion. But yes, I'll be back on here tomorrow at 9:10 a.m. EST, and I'll be here also Friday 10 a.m. EST. I will work on figuring out what I can do with the Wi-Fi to make it a little bit more cleaner, at least on my end as well. I'm not sure how it was on your guys' end, but again, I appreciate everyone who came on here and came to pop in and hang out. But yes, I will yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next live stream tomorrow. I hope you guys have a great day. Hope you guys stay safe and enjoy yourself. All right, I'll see you guys.